Boom, what's up, fam? Got some big news to share that unfortunately is not so good, so I'm gonna jump right into it. You're gonna watch this video and you're gonna cry. At least we can laugh at your eyes as you cry looking in the corner like a little girl in the fetal position.
Did I just plug my own podcast on yours?
There you go.
Oh, jeez.
Hey guys, Rule Zero. Yeah. Let's start off. Aaron, how you been, man? It's been a while. I don't know where you are in the woods somewhere. South Dakota? There's 2 Dakotas?
It's beautiful up there, man. Where he's at is awesome.
Yeah, this little corner. I'll go through geography again because is there electricity? Did it achieve statehood? Or the Indians are on? Anyway, it's the far west side, a little bit of corner. That's where Mount Rushmore is in Deadwood.
I've been there.
Yeah, there's a little mountain range. That's where I'm at. It is not North Dakota. They are 2 separate states. There's electricity. There are roads. There is internet, obviously, and that's where I am now. So I'm here.
Fun fact: there's a pawn shop in Deadwood. I bought a whole bunch of like Battle of Hoth Star Wars figures there, and I still have them hanging up here.
I know the pawn shop you're talking about because the city is that small out here. Yes, there's the pawn shop out here.
Do you have like is there moose that like walk through the town?
No, that's a little bit more north. They do have mountain lions out here that kind of sit on people's patios. And there's buffalo and deer and turkey. So like hunting, if you want to come hunt and shoot something, there's a ton of it. They're almost all varmint.
There is good fishing up there. I will say that.
Yep. And there's good
better
fish,
hunting than Seattle, or
no.
Too soon.
You're hunting for. Depends on who you're hunting for.
But yes, that's what's up with me. I'm in my northern command.
Your pawn shop hunting is. Is that where you went?
And then Rolo, like Aaron says, you're the hardest guy to get to return calls because you're busy as F.
Yeah, well, this last week has been really scrambly. The new book is out. Book 5, the Player's Handbook, dropped on Thursday, a week ago Thursday. And of course, as predicted, everybody comes in. It's already getting review bombed. I knew you guys were going to come at it. So when you go and you look at like reviews and they have like a verified purchase or no verified purchase, you'll know where the no verified purchases are coming from.
Throw a link on Amazon.
Yeah, I will. I'll put it in the chat here.
Thanks for dethroning me.
Doing very well though, but I should say and I surprised even me. I had Aaron knows when you drop a new book, you are forced to put it into categories that might not be ideal for your might not be ideal for your particular material, right? But you gotta pick one. And I didn't realize this until I started getting into self-publishing. When you list, and maybe you don't know this, Aaron, when you list initially, you have to get into the 4,000 categories, which are called bisect categories, and it's the booksellers like category, so that like when you go to Barnes and Noble, you know that that's the section that you're going to find that particular subject at. And it had to be something that was universal. It's been used since like the 60s or the 70s, and so Amazon had to comply with that. Now, once your book is already on Amazon, there are another 16,000 sections on Amazon that you can then request to have your book put into those categories, but it has to be live before you can do that. So I had to put my book into dating, and then I put it into gender studies because because I wanted to see what I could do. Like it was just a bullshit whim. And then I'm placing like 4th in those studies, and it was the #1 best-selling book in dating, which is an impacted category to begin with. And I pushed off that bitch Sherry what's her face, who had why men love bitches or something like that. It's probably back on now, but it had sat at the top of the #1 book in dating for forever.
Wait, she can write a 200-page book on having tits?
Right, exactly. And so it was great to get on there, and I was like, holy shit, I'm the #1 bestseller in dating, because that's a hard category to rank #1 in.
You and I took 1 through 4th place.
Yeah, but see, there's a difference. Well, that's #1 new releases. That's not hard to do. You can get a #1 new release in the first couple of days because of sales alone. It's another thing to be the #1 bestseller, because you have to consistently stay on top of at least the top 10 that are in that category. So there's a difference between #1 new release and #1 bestseller. And I might still be on that. I think it's at least #2 right now, but I pushed that bitch off for a week, and I was like, yeah, because I didn't know that I was going to be able to do that. I thought, well, I'll be happy if I'm just in the top 10 in that category, and it was #1. So, and I think it's still number 2 right now. So I'm riding that glory right now. And the sales are actually exceeding even my wildest expectations. So this has been a really good launch for me. I'm trying to stay on top of that. I was out in Miami. It dropped while I was in Miami. I did Fresh and Fit like 3 or 4 times. I did Saucecast while I was out there. And I wasn't planning to go out there, but Myron really wanted me out there for a special show. So I did. I got that going on. Tomorrow, the Redpilled Lions NFT is officially minting. If you got on the whitelist and you're doing the pre-buys, everybody's already bought it. Who was a pre-buy has already got it. Some of these guys are already selling it at a profit. And that's exactly what we want you guys to do. So, so we're the official mint is tomorrow. Well, actually, it's tonight at midnight. But so we got that going on, and then on top of that, I've got the CME, which is coming up and Troy's going to be there, right? Troy, you're still going to be there? Yeah,
absolutely, man.
So that's coming in the middle of the month. And then on top of that, on the 12th and 13th, my daughter graduates from UNLV. Okay. She's got her master's degree. I'm going out there for that. After that, I get on a plane. I go to Dallas. In Dallas, I'm at the Collective for George Gammon. I'm speaking there with Robert Kiyosaki, George Gammon, Ken McElroy. That's a 2-day engagement. Then I fly to Miami, and I'm there for that full week so that I can do the CME. And then on the 23rd, I get to fly back home to Reno and relax.
Well, hey, if your girl needs a job, I hear somebody's hiring a babysitter here for pretty good money.
You know, she'd probably be better at it than her.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, Paul, I have to ask. I'm not going to lie. Out of all the people that were going to get kidnapped in the Ukraine, I thought it was going to be you. So I feel bad. So how have you been, man?
I've been good. I'm not kidnapped in the Ukraine, so that's good. But that's because I don't shitpost Russian positive nonsense and do videos out in a war zone and then act surprised when people roll me up. Oh,
who would have thought that was a bad? Who would have thought that was a bad idea?
Yeah, Special Forces training at work here.
God, I know that's years of training right there, just distilled in 2 sentences. Don't
you
be an idiot.
Murdered, tortured.
Right. Yeah,
but
it's like,
I mean, you had a course launch in that recently too, didn't you?
Yeah. I got well, it's a mastermind group. It lasts a full year. And so it's just because, you guys want the cheat codes, but you got to do work, right? So it's guys we're doing Zoom calls, one-on-ones, and I have course, material that's pre-recorded, and it's helping them with all of the aspects that would allow them to have frame and dating and relationships. And some of the guys there are getting over breakups and wanting to get fresh starts. And so these guys are getting dialed in for a year, and I ran a test run in January. They're loving it. So I got an ad campaign that'll go up and out in mid-May. Basically is the next quarter, although it's a little bit past quarter at this point. I mean, you could get in right now, but prices will actually go up for all the tiers. And it's a year long worth of stuff. So yeah, it's been good, man. It allows me to work like intensely with guys who are actually doing the work. You know what I mean? Versus just like you get guys that kind of bring you problems and they don't do anything about the problems. That's really
dude, they'll burn you out. I'm so glad you're not going to burn out. That's good. And then I guess Troy, dude, I can never keep track. You're always in some random country. I don't know where you are even now. Are you in London?
Back in London in the bunker at the moment, but I was in Warsaw in Poland for a few days, and I was also in Berlin before. So I've just got back to London, going down to Cornwall for a few days to see my mum next week, and then I'll probably be back to Poland actually because I've got a Ukrainian girl over there who I'm,
I've heard it called Pussy Paradise before.
Well, indeed, it is certainly. I mean, but Poland was always a great place anyway. I mean, and Warsaw's great. I mean, the weather's starting to get better now. People are out and about. It's a good time over there. So myself and James Tusk actually. So I'll be at the CME as well with Rollo and Mr. John MLD here and others as well. And then I'm actually going to be going on a bit of a mini tour in Poland with James Tusk in June, where we're going to be going around various different cities and training guys and stuff. So if anyone's interested in that, if you want to come and hang out with us and do a bit of training, then you can come and join us. But yeah, it's a good time, man. It's a good time.
Fucking score. And then
Poland
Johnny.
is so much fun. I love it.
The champ is here! The champ is here!
Dude, I was hoping you were going to be here because I don't know anything about this trial, and I know for a fact you have some knowledge.
What trial?
That's been forced down my throat all week.
Oh, man. Oh, this is awesome. No, I think we're starting to see, we're at the very, very beginning of the cultural shift happening in America.
Yep.
And I've been saying this I've been saying this is going to happen since 2019, and I think the pendulum is finally swinging back. Elon Musk buying Twitter. I talked about this. I did it on my show earlier this week. Elon Musk buying Twitter, and then I'm like already in the court of public opinion, Johnny Depp has won. And when the internet takes your side, you have won. Just like Trump, the internet took Trump's side in 2016. He won, and then in 2020, obviously, it was a completely legitimate election, so that was totally legit. But then also the situation now, I don't know who even planned this out, but like Amber Heard, her attorney's name is Mr. Rottenborn. And I don't even know why they would even like go ahead with that. But she's a dumb woman, and she's fucking, she's
whack.
She's hubris all over her. So you're gonna see Johnny get a very he's already won in the court of public opinion. The internet is like feels so sorry for him. And another thing is this too. When it comes to America and American women, the cat's out the bag. Everybody knows American women are pieces of shit. Like you go to when I go back to America.
Let me tell you something.
No, I'm dead ass. I'm dead ass. When I go back to America and I just make casual chit chat. Okay, when I was staying in the hotel near Fresh and Fit, right? And some bitch was acting a goddamn fool in the elevator. And I just looked at some like 40-year-old black guy across from me. I was like, these bitches have lost their mind. He's like, bro, you have no idea. And this is a guy I just met. And this is happening across the country. I make small talk with guys in California, small talk with dudes in Texas, small talk with dudes in Florida. And across America, the average man is well aware and sick and tired of the average woman's entitled bullshit. And you can't go around being a dickhead, being a dirtbag, being a piece of shit forever and think that life is just going to go all hunky-dory. And you're starting to see the shift. I think girls are kind of realizing that, the whole like being a turbo hoe is like not paying off for them either. And so we're having a big kind of shift in the culture right now. And I think once I'm going to go on record and say Amber Heard is absolutely going to lose this case. And Johnny's going to win. And this is going to like put fear in the hearts of whores across the world.
Well, I guess this answers Glenn Lawrence's question for Cappy. Is there any wild boar? It sounds like John is finding him in the elevator now, so you don't have to go all the way to Dakota.
That is a southern. There are no wild boar in South Dakota. That's more Mississippi, Florida, even Texas a little bit. But
There are wild boar on Catalina Island.
Yeah, you go over there. Yeah, yep.
You can
Not
All right,
here.
so I like Johnny's lead in here on the cultural shift of America. So here, I don't know much about the trial. I know the pooping in the bed. I know the finger and the drinking. And the butler apparently was confused half the time. Who here is like the most... Johnny, are you the most knowledgeable about it? Give a primer to people in the audience who may not know.
It's either me or Rollo.
Right.
So long story short, basically... Okay. Johnny Depp met Amber Heard on the set of a movie in, I believe it was 2012. And he was with that French singer who has been like his long-term partner for a while. Never married, but he had children with her, right? So he gets with her over a kiss that they do on the set. And he says he feels like he felt something. It was like a magical, emotional, whatever, right? They refer to
his dick.
Yeah, he referred to himself as like Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. I think that was her name. Aaron, is that correct?
Lauren Bacall. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
My boomer knowledge of boomer things. Correct.
Thank you. You have finally served your purpose on Rule Zero. Kick him off now, Ryan. But they were like calling themselves like because Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, I think there was like a 20-year age gap, and they rushed into marriage and stuff. And the bottom line is this, okay? Amber Heard is just the typical American woman who will do whatever it takes to get what she wants in this situation, it was fame and fortune, right? And she is just she's just monkey branching. I think before Johnny Depp, she was in a lesbian relationship. She was married to a woman.
That's true.
And and she
that'll
was,
mess anybody up.
right. Just ask Aaron.
Damn it.
And so then, so then she monkey branched from the low tier lesbian to Johnny Depp.
How
And
dare
then-
you?
And then in the relationship, she was, using and abusing Johnny to get to the top. She was basically she was like kind of, what's the equivalent of like gold digging for like star chasing? I guess it's called star chasing,
Yep.
And so she got into like the little Hollywood circle with them, and then started cheating on him with James Franco. She used this to get into bed with Elon Musk, and she's, Johnny Depp's mother died during this time, and he went through a pretty dark thing with his alcoholism. And also, Johnny Depp was abused by his mother when he was little. So this is like an inner game problem he had. So that's why he was attracted to Amber Heard, because she was an abuser too. That's like the real deep stuff, because he actually testifies about that in court, about how his mother beat him and abused him. So his unresolved trauma found him to be attracted to I don't want to say, what would you say she is, Paul? Narcissist or?
She's looking like an extreme borderline personality disorder with what I call psychopathic and narcissistic traits. Just a real quick chime in on that. The model that I kind of look at for personality disorders is that it exists on a spectrum, much like autism, right? So you'll have high spectrum where it's like they will exhibit psychopathic traits. By psychopathic, I mean they're overtly going to harm someone else just to win and for the sole purpose of winning. Not all BPD women are necessarily psychopathic, but they just fall into the 9 traits, but they're not necessarily like recording herself saying, oh, you're putting cigarettes out on me and stuff, when that's not actually happening, but for the sake of the recording so that she can use it later. Like, these are psychopathic things where she's trying to just win in whatever she, perceives as winning. Histrionic, by the way, because I saw somebody just threw that in the chat. They're rolling histrionics up into BPD. There's a talk about doing that with the DSM, if they do that or not. It really fits.
We already kind
very,
of actually.
Yeah, it's a real similar fit. But all of these. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
So anyways, so she has some serious mental problems. Now, she divorced Johnny Depp, and then this was in 2018 when like wokeness was like pretty much getting to its peak and people were still accepting it. She divorces Johnny Depp. She gets $7 million in a divorce settlement. She claims that she's going to donate $3.5 million to the ACLU. She doesn't make the donation. She publicly states that she doesn't make the donation. And then she goes to I forget what the name of the newspaper was. I believe it was like she goes to one of these newspapers and she writes an article and says that she had to go get her fucking typical American Purple Heart and whoredom. Like, I am a survivor of sexual abuse and sexual terror. And so she says to the world, she said, like, I was a victim of abuse by Johnny Depp, and this has like ruined me. And I'm just trying to stand up for women's rights across the world. And I was, she said something like, the culture showed me who they were by not accepting me. And she was trying to play this big sexual victim thing, right? Of course, 2018, everybody's peak hating Trump. Oh my God, orange man bad, white man bad, women are number one. So what happens is, now this thing hits the news. Everybody is going after Johnny Depp. Disney cancels his Pirates of the Caribbean contract, which is huge money. He was scheduled to do Pirates of the Caribbean 6, and they completely booted him. That's why they're going to reboot it and do like the woman version now. She goes on to get onto Aquaman as well. And this whole thing, like, the internet was going after Johnny Depp. However, Johnny Depp filed a lawsuit against her, a defamation lawsuit. and he's suing her for $50 million for releasing this article. And now, after examining what's going on under a microscope, her case is falling through the fucking, like, it's completely coming apart.
But she's counter suing. Is that correct, John?
Yeah, but there's nothing. She can counter sue all she wants. This woman, bro, at the end of the day, he's Willy Wonka and she's the chocolate factory. Like, she shit the bed. She literally shit in the bed.
Literally.
That's where you lose. You lose right there.
You lost right there when you shat in that bed and thought you could get away with it.
Lose. Sir.
You know, the way she was setting up the camera to be recorded. She was setting up a camera secretly to record Johnny freaking out, and then and leading him with certain things like, why are you acting this way? Why are you acting this way? After the camera set up, this is a very arrogant woman.
She knew what she was doing,
and she was a very sloppy job. And this was fueled by hubris. And anybody with a brain can see that this woman was a conniving whore. And now the world is seeing exactly what's going on. And the thing is this too. The thing is, look, the corona thing red-pilled a fuckload of people on the media and the government. The Trump thing red-pilled the fuckload of people. Now with this trial is also going to endlessly red-pill more and more and more people. So even if she gets off, the whole world is going to be like, fuck the system, fuck this bitch, and it's going to make people even angrier. They have to let Johnny Depp win. Otherwise, I mean, they're gonna have to deal with a lot of backlash. But she's forever tarnished in Hollywood. Like, no one's gonna want to work with her.
Right.
Well,
She's
and that's
losing a lot of things.
And that's like this too. Like Glenn Lawrence with his $20 super chat saying he'd rather be known as a junkie and a drunk than a wife beater. There's rehab for junkies, not wife beaters. She went after this, basically calling him one of these. And the fact that this is the first time I've seen in a very public case somebody doing these horrible accusations and then just falling flat. I can't think of another one recently. Do any of you guys?
No, well, I want to just tag something on there with what John's talking about. I think this is like the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing is the most high profile thing that's going on right now, but it's not like there aren't other things that have been going on. If you go and you look at like the Will Smith situation, people are already saying that, like, and I don't know how true this is, but there's rumor that they're going to get divorced finally. And then of course you see these videos that are floating around where she's just like schooling him and talking about, oh, we're going to have Esther Perel on the show and talk to him, like corral him, like teach him something, and he's just there like a little kid. He's just like a child there. And this comes hot on the heels after he goes and he smacks Chris Rock at the Oscars. That's one. So if you go and you look at like Will Smith's situation, then you look at Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, and then you look at like Prince Harry, who's been around for I've been talking about that since, again, something else we've been talking about since 2017, 2018, the Pat Campbell days when I'm talking about Prince Harry. If you look at that guy, you look at trying to think of who else is. Cam Newton was recently made the news because he was talking about how he wants women to like be more feminine and cook for him, kind of thing, and that people lose their shit. And it's and I think in a sense, like, I don't think the manosphere per se is becoming more mainstream, but I do think that like the topics and the red pill and the stuff we've been talking about forever is finally starting to be something that people are taking notice of. So when you look at these situations, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp are one of like several other ones that are going on right now. People are always, comparing like Johnny Depp and like Will Smith with, this is the state of masculinity of men today is what's going on with these guys, or the intersexual dynamics between a predatory woman and Johnny Depp, right? And so I keep seeing this all the goddamn time, and it's always on Instagram or something where guys are like, well, all you got to do is just make a lot of money and be a champion kickboxer, and all you got to do is do these things.
When this isn't right.
Just got to kidnap her, bro.
They'll naturally be submissive and feminine if that's who you are. I'm like, yeah, except for if you're Elon Musk, except for if you're Johnny Depp, except for if you're Will Smith. All these guys have lots of money. All of these guys have fame and status and everything else, and they're still blue pill as fuck. That's what's going on. If you don't understand the nature of women, if you don't understand the nature of men, if you don't understand intersexual dynamics, you are at a severe disadvantage if that's your case. And I do also agree with Paul. She's definitely borderline personality disorder. She's definitely NPD, which is narcissistic personality disorder. And I've talked about that when I was referring to Meghan Markle, who, by the way, is just maybe a lower volume or a lower frequency intensity Amber Heard. She's controlling. I mean, how surprised would you be if you found out that Meghan Markle was abusing, Prince Harry in very, similar ways to what's been going on with Amber Heard, who is a predatory woman who has gone from Elon Musk. By the way, if you read the article that Neil Strauss, when he was interviewing Elon Musk, and Elon Musk breaks down in tears because his relationship is breaking up or whatever at that time. The reason why he broke down, it was a 2018 article in Rolling Stone. He broke down, and that was the most famous part of that article. The woman he was breaking up with, Amber Heard. Yep. So when you go and you look at the situations of these high profile guys who you go, doesn't he know that he's Johnny Depp? Doesn't he know that he's Will Smith? Doesn't he know that he's Anthony Bourdain? Doesn't he know that yeah, they do, but it's because their mindset is still blue pill. It's still very submissive and very Pollyanna when it comes to intersexual dynamics. That's why you need to know game. That's why you need to know men's nature and women's nature. And it's not just a money thing. It's not a status thing. It's not even being a yoked thing. You're still at a disadvantage, and you will end up just like these guys if you don't know it.
Well, it's certainly not a looks. It's certainly not a looks thing, is it? And I mean, it kind of blows the sort of black pill narrative out of the water, because the idea of just if you're a Chad, if you're a good-looking guy, then you're gonna find human happiness. You're gonna be in a relationship, and it's all gonna be fine. But Johnny Depp was one of the best-looking men of his generation. He was a heartthrob when he was in 21 Jump Street, and in all those early movies. Every single woman on the planet wanted to get with him, right? If you can't say Johnny Depp's a Chad, then who is? And Will Smith as well. But look what's happened to them. So understanding this stuff, understanding the dynamics behind this stuff is so important. Otherwise, nobody's got a chance, basically. The only thing that I would say, though, I'd be interested to know people's opinion on this. The counter argument to this making these ideas mainstream is that Amber Heard is so crazy and it's so outlandish that there will be a tendency for people to just say, okay, but that was her. She was a bad apple. She's a nutter. She's
cracked in the bed. She's damaged.
Yeah, exactly. And not broadening it out any further than that.
I think I hate to agree with John. Goes against my principles and everything.
You fucking
love you, buddy.
But I have to.
People don't realize we really love each other so much behind the scenes.
No, we really don't. We really don't. You're only worth an expired Perkins coupon.
Oh God.
Anyway, before I forget my thought, I think whatever happens with this is going to be moot in the official court of public opinion, especially for women's opinion. Because I think John is absolutely right. The pendulum is swinging back, but I don't think it's a pendulum swinging back with great force. I think we've been doing this for 20 years, guys, in one capacity or another. And 20 years ago, the boys who were growing up watching Johnny Depp as Pirates of the Caribbean, that came out in 2002, 2003, they're not only seeing one of their maybe childhood boy heroes, like, whoa, look at this. Like, this would be like me seeing Bruce Willis getting taken, be like, oh my God. In conjunction with a alternative underground, but albeit their narrative saying, look, it ain't your fault. This is, bitches be crazy. And they be mean in this country, in this culture too. And now this is just yet another anecdotal bit of evidence of yeah, they are kind of off. There is something wrong. This can happen to someone, and it can happen to my childhood hero. This happened to Captain Jack Sparrow. But I think it's a real slow burn, and that oil tanker, we have been slowly turning it, and now it has a lot of momentum, and it is going the other way. And what I've witnessed on the ground, kind of looking into my crystal ball, beginning field reports and whatnot, both men and women are going to the respective corners. And yes, women have always, we don't need men, blah, blah, blah. That's been going on. But the guys, the young men who are now boys back in those days, who are young men now, these guys have no interest, and they're aware. And it's kind of like there's been a 20-year vaccination program where they're not going into it blind anymore. And if you think marriage rates have tanked before and birthing rates have tanked before, you just wait. COVID has definitely knocked down the marriage rate by 20%, went from 6.1 to 5.1 in 2 years. Okay, that's a statistical anomaly. Things are going to jump back up, but if it keeps going, you're going to see marriage rates below a 1.0, and the only ones get married might be immigrant families. But this is just a very bright, shining example, regardless of how the court cases ruled and how the judge rules. Everybody is watching this, particularly younger men, some older boys, and they're just paying attention. So I have to agree with John. This is just more wind pushing that oil tanker the direction it's turned around to.
I feel it's like this, like, you know, we've been swinging, we get swinging, and like it's just here, and now it's stopped, and now
maximum potential energy.
It's unignorable.
Yep, you can't, because look, dude. I mean, you know, if you really want to see where the culture is, you got to go where the young people are. Go to TikTok and go to Twitch. Okay, simp isn't like they banned simp off of Twitch. Why? Because it's fucking too true. It's too true. Okay. If you say alpha male, beta male in average bar talk right now, people know what you're talking about. 20 years ago, people are like, who the fuck is this scientist talking about alpha male, beta male? You know what I mean? Chad is a slang now. We got Chad. We got you know, thoughts. Like, it's publicly okay.
304s, yeah.
It's publicly okay to call girls sluts, and like within context, like, yeah, these girls are sluts. I have been using Google definitions. Like, literally on my show, I pull up the definition of slut. It's like, here's what Google says sluts are. I said the majority of these girls are sluts. I press the monetary review thing on YouTube. Green $, like monetize, A-okay. So the pendulum is swinging backwards, because it's like this. Because the people that were setting the tone for the culture were the left, right? But here's the deal. We're like, okay, yeah, okay, gay people can get married. Cool. Okay, dudes can cut off their dicks and become women. Okay, now there's 76 genders. Sure, okay. All right. And it's like, we're just got to accept everything. So guess what? If you want to be an alpha male womanizing guy on Rule 0, you got to accept that too, right? You have 76 genders. I like to fucking womanize. So you have to accept my acceptance, right? Because you're
living your truth.
And so now they've kind of come full circle and have to like eat their own. And the thing is this too, at the end of the day, these people, okay, the dregs of society are not the ones that fucking propel society into greatness. Okay, it's not some fucking rabid feminist taking us to Mars, is it? It's a fucking white male. Sorry, it is what it is. A straight white male, an African American. If you racists at home are saying anything, okay? Elon Musk is my favorite African American. Jesus, you know, but he's doing it, and these are the people that push the culture forward. The freaks, the dregs of society. They sit there, they all they want, but at the end of the day, you know, you can put on your dress, you can go to Drag Queen Story Hour. But we're gonna build the fucking rocket ship, and we're gonna go to Mars, and you can fucking, you know, you can cut your dick off, and that's fine. You whatever you gotta do, but it's like you can't beat nature. Okay, it's natural for men and women to be together. That's literally the only reason we're here, is to come together. We're drawn to each other. As much as they have programmed women to hate men and all that shit, it's backfiring. So that's all I got to say. I gotta be right back to my Uber Eats.
Well, so the program, I mean, we're complementary, but recognizing though that we're complementary in a divisive manner. All right. It's not like where peace and harmony exists among human beings. We grew as a species in conflict with each other, and in an intergender sense in conflict. Men wanting to spread seed, women wanting to capture that man for his resources. Those two things don't always coexist well. Now they can, because you're a human being, you're not a primate, right? So you can learn skills and do things to create this complementary relationship that works out really well. But you have to understand from the get-go that although we're meant to mate, but we kind of, men and women, love to hate each other too, right? And so you just have to recognize that is a truth of the matter, and it's not going to happen naturally or by accident, you know, where you're going to get along and have this great relationship. You and this other person have to have the right mental framework. That's where a lot of the red pill truths come in. And you have to lead the relationship in the direction of happiness. It's not just going to do it by itself. By itself, you're going to end up with a divisive situation where one person is benefiting at the expense of the other. In this case of a feminist society that we're in, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of women benefiting at the expense of men, not because of the complement of men in their lives. So that's just one thing to kind of keep in mind. I did want to mention too, this part of it, that guys, you want to observing these things is important to recognize two things. One is the celebrity trap, and to make sure that you don't fall into it. All right. So when these guys they think, these high status, high profile dudes think that they're leading, but they're actually being led by cultural influence, because the court of public opinion is determining their self-worth. They don't necessarily have a strong identity in a sense of self. In fact, what they end up with is imposter syndrome, where you'll see a guy like Johnny Depp who feels bad about himself, goes through depression, drug use, all these internal conflicts. Meanwhile, people are telling him all day long how great he is. You see, so you end up with this imposter syndrome without a strong sense of self. And that's what happens with these celebrities. And so whatever the cultural, flavor of the day is, that reflects into how they present themselves in the world. The cultural flavor of the day is to sacrifice yourself for a woman and to do all of this crap that the blue pill world talks about. And now here's a guy who feels bad about himself, has imposter syndrome, meets a toxic predatory woman. What happens? This is exactly what you end up with. And unfortunately, he's in a bubble where everyone tells him how awesome he is, and so he's not getting that feedback from, with that, dude, you're effing your life up here. This isn't good. And when he does, it's so easy for that high status person to just push that feedback aside and then go lean into all of the, all of the echo chamber stuff. And so you got to make sure
to. That's the thing. He's $300 million. He can lose half of that and still be richer than anybody.
Let me throw out a couple of things here right now. I think, and I'm hoping that there is actually a cultural shift, just like what John was saying. It would be nice if that was the case. Is it a pendulum coming back? No, it's us going forward is what we're seeing. It's unignorable at this point. Like I said before, take away the manosphere, take away the red pill. People are still aware of this stuff. There's still going to be, you take me away, erase all of us. There's going to be another Rollo Tomasi that comes up. There's going to be another Rhinestone. There's going to be other people who are going to come in here. They're going to make the same message. Long after I'm gone, they're going to be still guys that are because you can't ignore this stuff anymore. So when people see Anthony Bourdain kill himself over the fact that, over Asia Argento, we tend to forget about stuff like that. But like high profile guys who we would otherwise say are alpha. I got so much grief for going on Adam Sosnick's show, and we talked about Amber Heard, we talked about Gary, we talked about Elon Musk, especially Elon Musk, because when he bought out Twitter, everybody goes, "Oh man, that's an alpha move! Oh, how cool, awesome, rah rah rah!" And I'm like, yeah, except for he still has a very beta mindset. He's still very, when it comes to women, it's like, I think people really want to have that hero worship and really build that guy up. And so when a guy like Anthony Bourdain or Johnny Depp, who we would otherwise say, what's wrong with Johnny Depp? I can't believe he's like this with Amber Heard, right? How come he doesn't man up and just kick that bitch out of the house, right? Or Will Smith, how come he doesn't see the writing on the wall with Jada Pinkett Smith and put his foot down and say, get the fuck out, bitch, I'm done with you. I'm fucking Will Smith, you're Jada Pinkett Smith, and I ain't taking this bullshit where you're cheating on me, blah blah blah. Why doesn't he do that? Because his mind is different. His beta need is still there. His blue pill conditioning is still embedded in him, no matter how much money he makes, no matter how good looking he is, no matter what his status is or what his fame, positioning is. But if Rollo Tomasi comes up there and says, "Oh, Elon Musk is kind of beta," when you think about it, when you look at like his relationship history, now I'm jealous and professionally jealous. I'm like, no, I'm pointing out the fact that your hero is still beta. He's still got this thing, this programming in his head that is, deleterious, is preventing him from like real success in life. And when I go and I point this out, or I point out, like something with Gary Vee or whatever, people just lose their shit. Meanwhile, We have women like Amber Heard. We have women like Brittany Renner. We have women like Lauren Dirty Sanchez. We have women who we hold up as being like these, tough boss babes or boss bitches or whatever. And meanwhile, you got someone like Brittany Renner who is finessing guys like PJ Washington to the tune of $200,000 child support and alimony that she planned to do. That she wrote.
Was she the one that we did the video of getting thrown into that TV?
I don't know if it was that one. But you see these women who are like, we lift them up. We reinforce this. We do interviews with them. We take what they say seriously when everything they've done, anything that you see on Instagram, you can tell she's bipolar. She's NPD. She's BPD, but we're still going to lift her up because she has the vagina, because she's the one who's doing the finessing of a guy who's a high profile dude. And so when you see like someone like Brittany Renner go on and get all these interviews and everything, I'm looking at this and going, how do you not see that this bitch is bipolar? Well, the people who are doing the interviewing are doing it because they want eyes on the screen and they're doing it for financial reasons. But meanwhile, they're influencers and they're influencing a larger global internet community of young women and guys as well, going, oh yeah, maybe she has a point, kind of thing. And so when other guys come up there and they start talking about like what we do when it comes to red-pilled topics and whatever, we seem like we're like the radicals because they're so accustomed to reinforcing crazy ass bitches like Amber Heard. In 2018, everybody was on Amber Heard's side. Was it Brittany Renner? Everyone was on Brittany Renner's side. Everyone, when it was the Me Too generation, everyone was believe all women. And now we see not only our heroes for what they are, our hero worship, but all these fanboys. Now suddenly, maybe there's a flaw. Maybe there's a chink in the armor. Maybe there's something that's not
a little
quite,
one.
Yeah, it's not quite there. Maybe it's actually your mindset. Maybe it's actually you're a beta chump and you need to unlearn what you've learned. Maybe you need to understand the real true nature of men's nature and women's nature and how those two interact instead of having this Pollyanna hero worship, status worship bullshit. And so when you see something like this and you look at Amber Heard, what's the first thing you say? Well, she's damaged. There must be something wrong with her. Anytime you hear about hybristophilia or a woman, like these guys who are in jail for like mass murders and they have a teenage girl fan club who want to get with them in prison, you go, oh, they must be damaged women. Yeah, but it's only women. It's only that. It's only that demographic. Let's look at the correlations here as well, because we just don't want to go all the way. We don't want to believe things. We don't want to come out of our comfort zone when it comes to understanding men and women, because that's what we've been taught, and you have to unlearn that stuff. Every time something like Harry and Meghan Markle comes up, and there will be another one, trust me, and Will Smith comes up, or maybe some high-profile guy commits suicide because his wife left him, or because it's his girlfriend was cheating on him or something like that. Every time that happens, people go, Rollo, he really needs your book. Yeah, he needed my book like 4 or 5 years ago. Unfortunately, the damage is done right now with that guy, and they just can't believe that a guy as alpha as Anthony Bourdain, or as alpha as Johnny Depp, can be in the position that she shit on his bed. At what point you go, you know what? Maybe it's time to leave. But even after that, he's still taking her back. He's still trying to make it work out. It's here. It's not money. It's not status. He's a good-looking guy. It's not that. It's not talent. It's what you believe when it comes to like your romantic and your interpersonal relationships. And that's the part that people really struggle with, because to admit that to be admitting that they're wrong about their own investments in it.
It's red pill. God damn it. Actually, Rollo, here's the part that'll make you cry. Not even the shitting in the bed. I guess she was quoted as saying Depp and his friends are just boring old dudes sitting around playing guitar. She's talking about Marilyn Manson. Imagine that. She's like, oh, Gene Simmons is coming over. Oh, I'm so bored. I'm over it.
These old guys. There's a lot of hero worship for Elon Musk, though, around at the moment, isn't there, among guys?
Right. He's everybody's hero now. Nobody talks shit about him, about the Dogecoin, like, pump and dump he did. Well, he bought Twitter, so he must be on our side.
Well, I saw, you see sort of prominent sort of fairly right-wing people calling him Big Daddy Elon and stuff like this, and which is rather like analogous to the Trump situation, really. Which is like, I mean, the thing is with Elon, I'm not convinced. If you're talking about it from a political perspective, I don't think that he's necessarily a conservative or a liberal. Really, I think he's probably somewhere in the middle of the two. I think that probably as far as Twitter's concerned, I'll be interested to hear people's opinions on this. I think as far as Twitter's concerned, I think hopefully it will be a good thing, because I think he will seek to curb some of the greater woke excesses that we've seen. But I think that these guys who see him as a sort of almost like a Trump figure, I think they're misguided. I just don't think he's that guy. You know, somebody in the chat said, "Oh, you know, he's really successful with women." Well, not really. I mean, he got
no.
I mean, that's just not true.
No, he's addicted to toxic relationship dynamics, and that's the thing to recognize. These are addictions.
Grimes is not a success.
But once again, I think part of the issue here is the male on male hero worship that we see. You know, it's like, oh my God, he's Johnny Depp. Oh my God, he's Elon Musk. Even, oh my God, he's Donald Trump. You know, it's like you have to be your own hero. You know, you can't bloody just fanboy these people and think that they're infallible, because they're not.
Well, do you think there's even like Elon Musk could be a modern day hero? Do young?
Oh my God, it's Aaron Clary.
I had to go get the mail. It was delivered by donkey. I'm not joking, because if I don't, I got to drive all the way to Hermosa to go get it. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. The what was it? The Midnight Express or the Pony Express? Yes, the Pony Express pulled up. But aside from like maybe Elon Musk, or beforehand it was an Apple guy who died of cancer. Did these boys Steve Jobs? Thank you. Do they even have like a hero anymore? Like, it's like, who do people look up to? It can't be Robert Downey Jr. is too old. Chris Hemsworth, like the Avengers, the Thor type of people. Like, is there anyone that these guys really look up to? And this gets back
Troy
to
Francis. Look up
Ninja.
Troy Francis, sure, of course. Who doesn't look up at Troy Francis? But there, in other words, the figures that existed 20 years ago that are now young men's boy heroes today, I don't think this infrastructure is being laid down, like the Gen Alpha, if you want to call it that. These boys and the younger Gen Z, they are not going through what we did. And so the dynamics going forward in a post-pubescent world, when they're starting to get interested in women, I think about what kind of environment they're going up, where their men are bad. Oh, they're really pushing you to change, 1 in 5 Zers think they're not straight. All these different things where the interest in women is going to be eliminated. Men are going to be, boys are going to be brought up to not even think of, oh, I got to get the girls or anything like that. There'll still be that because of the male sex drive. But I don't think the interest is going to be there come 15, 20 years, when whoever the young men are now, young boys are now, come online, are 20, 25, 30, starting to chase after these gals. So you throw that in with just, it's a bad deal. The optics on this is going to scare away any man under 40. I think this is almost going to be a problem that solves itself in the future.
Oh, that'd be good anyway. And I still can't believe God. Like, I have a hard time believing with that diagnosis, people don't adapt. And I'm like, usually what happens is that's why you can't make very good economic predictions over the long term, because people adapt to situations as they're changing. I think I'm right on this one, Aaron. You usually laugh at my economic naivety, but I think I'm on it.
Never laughed at. Nope.
Oh,
but
this. I can't even.
Yeah, no, you're right, and that's one thing I think, because we're all 40 plus, I believe. We got these blinders on with the way that we were brought up. And I try to always accommodate, like, okay, I don't know what it's like dating in an online environment. I have no idea. But if you look at, and this is why we should all pay attention to polling data, statistics, looking at what younger people claim. Boy, it's going to be, I'll give a shout out to, what was his name? Stardust or Thinking Ape. He says like red pill rage is going to go away because of the internet. Because these young men aren't going to be led along for 10, 15 years under false pretext. They go up, they search it, here's the answer. So I think a lot of guys are going to be thrown in the towel. They're not even going to get into the ring, is what I'm forecasting. So this battle of the sexes is going to be where guys are just like, nah, video games. And you can already kind of see that with a lower labor force participation rate, boys not going to college. Yeah, admittedly, boys are going in the trades, but more and more people are living at home. People are not even setting foot in this ring, which is kind of a good thing, but it kind of also takes away from men's productivity for their own purpose and benefit. So yeah, we got to keep a pulse on the finger, but this is another, geez, Wile E. Coyote fell off the cliff again. I wonder if I should be chasing the Roadrunner. And a lot of younger guys say, hell no, I'm not for $100 million lawsuit.
Well, on that note, I actually got to bounce, guys. So it was great having you. I would just get a quick plug in before I go. I'll throw a link in the chat. When you're done with the video, go check it out. But we're done with this video, go check that out. But basically, it's the Frame Mastermind group. If you don't want to end up like Johnny Depp, you got to have Frame in your life. Okay, that's that simple. And so, yeah, all the Johnny Depps out there of the world, and anyone who's a little bit less than that, just go check out that link and see if it's for you. You can book a free consult with my course administrator to see if it's a good fit, and that's it. Sayonara,
nice.
guys.
Well, it's good to see you again, man.
Yeah, man, it's good seeing you too. Thanks for having me on, as always.
Nice to see you, Paul.
All right, so we got Sam's $20 super chat here. Thank you, sir. There are so many women with whom you can sleep with and so few whom you can talk to. Dude, I love this Hemingway line because it's true. Do you notice how many of the guys' complaints they have now? It's that, why can't this girl be like my male best friend? Why can't she be just like a guy I'd have friend? And they always try to make girls and what they aren't. It's like John. Remember your old ejaculate things where it's, I think it was in the right place, even if you're not in that headspace now, where it's like, girls have a girl compartment, guys have a guy compartment. It's when you try and mix them up. It causes so many problems.
You gotta like, that's the thing. Guys in the West really have like kind of lost the idea like of what femininity is. I think both genders, just male and female, not the other 75. You know, they kind of have lost an idea what each respective gender is supposed to be like. Because I have guys come to me, he's like, why can't my girlfriend discuss like philosophy with me? I'm like, because she's a fucking girl and she doesn't care. She's watching Selling Sunset. Like, go watch that with her and talk about how everybody hates Christine. Like, that is what your guys are going to build a relationship upon. And you talk philosophy with your buddies, right? You got to have your own little tribe. You have to have your own little network of men that are like you. You got to build your own personal community to get your needs met, just like she has her little gossip community. You know?
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, really, is there?
No. Well, what's wrong with that?
I mean, I think it's fine that you know, like the stuff that I'm going to talk to you and Tusk about in Bogota is going to be different to the stuff that I'm going to talk to my girl about, you know?
I hope so.
Thank God. Thank God. Some of it's barely even legal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, I stepped away there, but yeah, like, where did we leave off? Did we talk about anything else about in regards to the trial or whatever?
It was mostly about how we're going to be shifting the pendulum. Things are going to be changing. Rollo and Aaron disagreed. I think it was Aaron thought it was a pendulum swinging back. Rollo thinks it's going to be the paradigm is shifting and that we're advancing into a new state. And then Clary opted onto that with the Zoomers are basically going to check out. And the outrage thing would have been great because now guys are just like, fuck it.
Yeah. Well, if I can add to what John said, because he's right about this, that men and women have lost, especially younger people, have lost like what the other person should do. We can have our own respective different behaviors because we are different. Men and women are different. But when you interact, there is an etiquette and a protocol that was genetically derived over millions of years of human evolution. And John, you said something, I was actually shocked because it was insightful. You said like this bitch was walking in front of me. That is such disrespect. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, we're going someplace together. You will either be on my arm or we're walking together or we're staying together. You know, it's like Top Gun. I'm not leaving my wingman. Yeah. And these girls don't know. They really don't know. And until you have that and experience it, and that's what I've seen, is these guys are going in without this preset genetic. They have it. It's screaming at them as to what they should want. And when a girl does it, it's almost amazing because it just goes so effortlessly. But you should kind of be there for the other person. That person should be number one. What is he doing? What is she doing? We're going to go here together. I will sit down. I will let him leave. I'll let him open the door, that type of thing. But they don't. They are programmed like, I'm going to do this. And the guy isn't even there. And I think as we see more and more people just like, whoa, look at this shit. This is you not only have sensational things like Amber Heard and Johnny Depp happening, but micro behaviors on the individual interaction level. A bitch pulling out her fucking, like, that's never happened to me. if a woman ever pulled out a cell phone on me while we're on a date, I'd be like getting up and I'd say like, she's got the tab. I said, excuse me, I got to go to the bathroom. Like, that is just not acceptable. But that's the point that we're all right now. And so I do believe that it's not even going to our separate corners. Like, they don't even know the other person's on the, like, how we should interact, or maybe we should even be sparring. No, it is, we're not even going to find each other after a while. So, but I think that's how far the pendulum has gone, where the next couple generations are coming through, because they don't even have that etiquette or rules or interaction going on.
Well, I'm going to do what everybody else on the internet does and build myself up by tearing Rollo down. I disagree with Rollo. I disagree with Rollo about the whole pendulum thing. He's 100% wrong, because you look at what happened in the history of humankind. These eras of decadence come. And it's eras of hubris and decadence, where the society, the governing, the master society at the time, which is America still at this time, right? They think they can beat the rules. They think that, oh, we don't need men and women to come together. We don't need families. Oh, gays, homosexuals, transsexuals, lesbians, LGBTQ, LMNOP, whatever the fuck, they're better than the majority of us. Like, yeah, like this happens over and over and over again. We're just in Sodom and Gomorrah, and this thing's gonna burn the fuck down, because you can't beat nature. You're like, we are on this planet to fuck, reproduce, and die. And if you stray away from that model, everybody's unhappy, everybody's miserable, and nobody fucking gets along.
Just to interrupt real quick, I'm kind of happy watching everyone be miserable. Does that count like as happiness? Can I?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Hell, come on, man. Saying the same thing here with the super chat. They're giving up, just making the competition pool more shallow.
Yep.
Like, what was that happen back in the day? Guys would go to war. 20% of the dudes would be stabbed in the neck before they're 25, and then you come home with all these extra chicks. The only difference is now that they're on the Xbox.
Yeah.
No different.
So the thing is, the people who are straying away from this too, right? Because I saw Myron and Fresh talking about how, the majority of women are going to become doctors, the majority of women are going to become lawyers, and they're taking over the corporate world and shit. And I think on paper they may be getting degrees, and like, yeah, they are going to be getting increasingly to that point, but they are also like leading prescription drug abusers. They are more and more becoming alcoholics. Female suicide rates are going up. Like, it's not sustainable. We're not just going to keep trending in this direction and think that having a bunch of psychopaths and like drug addicts in charge of everything is going to be a sustainable environment for the culture. It's not going to work like that. These girls, okay, right now, I'm just going to talk about Selling Sunset, right? It's the #1 TV show on America and on the planet right now, okay?
Wait, what's it called?
So, Selling Sunset. It's about a bunch of sluts who sell real estate. And
it's great. It's a great show.
It's a fantastic show. So there's this girl, right? Her name is Chriselle. She's gorgeous, but she's 40. And the guy that's like dating her, his name's Jason, and he's like 45, 46 or something. And she gets to the point where she's like, well, look, like I'm 40. I want to have a baby, which is already laughable at 40, right? And she's like, I want to have a baby. And so spoiler alert, the season ends with him dumping her because she is pressuring him to have a baby. And he's like, well, no, we've only been dating for a couple months. And like, I understand that your, baby window is extremely like short, like maybe 2 years max.
Shattered.
Yeah. And so the whole world just watched, like the #1 TV show in the world, just watch this guy dump this chick because she's too old, because she wants to have a baby. And these girls are getting a harsh reality check by realizing you have a biological clock and you are absolutely having a shelf life. One of the girls on the show, when they started off season 1, right? She was 36, got pregnant. She had 2 miscarriages before that. And then finally she was able to get pregnant. And then she's been literally pregnant 3 years in a row, 36, 37, and in 39. I think she took 1 year off to like get these
you gotta
babies
take a break.
out. Yeah, to get these babies out so they're not fucking retarded. And the thing is this too, these girls think that like every girl thinks like their life is just going to be this perfect fantasy of no trouble, no problems, like you know. And if I have one misconception, or if I have like one bad time or one bad breakup, like, you know, it's the guy's fault, it's society's fault, it's everybody's fault that I don't have my Disney ending. And it's delusional. Like for me to be where I am, I have failed so many times. I nuked my credit into the ground. My credit went to like a 580. I have unpaid student loans. I had to fucking leave the country. I had to get multiple visas. I broke up with so many girls, went through heartache. My business failed. My business models failed. I lost time. I lost fucking hair.
And you're ugly.
And
Don't
I'm
forget
ugly
that.
as shit. I am ugly as sin. I'm so ugly I might as well move to South Dakota. And so, you know, like I went through hell to get here. And these girls are expecting to like knock a home run out on the first try. And if they don't, society sucks, the culture sucks, everybody sucks, men suck, everybody sucks but the girl and her delusional perceptions of what the real world actually is. You know, like how many times did you fail to like make your business successful? All of you guys on the panel here.
Oh, 2 or 3 times, you know.
Multiple, right?
Yeah. Hit some foul balls too. They weren't spectacular disasters, but you know, it
Fucking
didn't
savage, Aaron.
Ryan's just lost it. Ryan's just lost control.
Go ahead, finish your thought, because I do want to add some economics to this, though.
Well, no, but I'm just trying to say that they have delusional perceptions of reality, and you can only deny reality for so long. You can only say being fat doesn't matter until you're fucking 38 and you have your first heart attack. You can only say being putting your career first is number one until you get laid off due to the corona pandemic, and you ghosted a million dudes. You've been pumped and dumped 75 times your entire life by multiple dudes. No guy wants to put a ring on your finger because you're just used nasty goods at this point. Like, you know, the chickens have come home to roost, and the girls are not liking it. But that's the thing, when a girl, like, when you get ran through, when you get pumped and dumped, you get used up, like, there's no go back. There's no, like, you can't, like, oh, the blood of Jesus washes me from all my whoredom. Like, no, it doesn't. Like, you are still carrying all of that fucking psychological damage from all those dudes that have fucked you and thrown you in the garbage. So you're just seeing a culture of like disgruntled, used up, damaged women, and now they want to be doctors, and it's hilarious to watch it all happen. But that's why I'm saying, is the guys, you know, just focus on yourself, continue to work on yourself. You know, if the girls come into your life, hey, listen, you can come into my life, but this is what you got to do. And if you don't do these things, you got to get the fuck out, and I'll go find another girl, because I'm going to keep building myself and make myself more valuable. And eventually I will find a good girl to come along and enjoy the ride with me.
Damn
and that's
straight.
how you know, that's exactly what's happening right now.
So here's a question for you guys then. So with the incels that have just checked out, and the entitled chicks that have that are hitting the wall, or whatever you reference you want to use there, is that a +1, -1 situation? Do you think there's equal amounts of both, or do you think there's too many incels or too many spinsters?
No, I think there's an equivalent. I believe in like a law of equilibrium. It's scary how that law plays out in just physics, which has to, because it's physics, but sociologically, economically speaking, I think it's the same amount. Looking
but
at
like that's good news then. That checks out.
It does. It does.
I mean, for good people, like it's like Morlocks and Eloys. You know, you pick your group and you with them. You want to go team incel spinster, or do you want to go team getting laid and enjoying life? And it's great because then just walk over.
Right, but in the fact that we are going to separate teams, all of human contribution to existence in society has been transaction. So, okay, fine, we're the American Indians are going one way and the settlers are going the other, and they're not going to trade beads for whatever pelts. There's no production there. There's no human history. There's no culture anymore. It's just they're not showing up at the trading post anymore. So it is a balance. But I think society, you know, certainly our economy and the population is going to decrease. But I don't care because I don't have kids, so I'm happy about it.
Well, we're going to be dead soon, Aaron, so it doesn't really matter to us.
What was that?
We're going to be dead soon anyway, Aaron. Sorry.
Well, it's a very macabre and nihilistic approach in it. But for a lot of people, look, and I'll be very clear about this. I don't think it's that women consciously abandon men. The government and the welfare state and technology has made it that women have a better economic offer on the table. If you look at it in the past, women had to cook and clean and stay in shape. They maybe had to have sex with you if they didn't want. They had to hook up with a guy because they needed a guy to survive that they maybe didn't really like all that much. And now they have this other thing on the table, which is you could be a career. Technology has allowed everyone to kind of work. Like, you don't have to toil in the fields. Everyone could be an accountant. It's not physically demanding. But then the government and the welfare state obviously provides added insurance in case women don't. And they don't. And I've made this point in several of my books and several of my podcasts that with Plan B, an alternative on the table, you see women's effective interest in men, and it's not that high. They're only fractionally interested in men as much as men are women. You can hate them for it, but that's just what their nature is what I'm coming to a conclusion. So now that men have essentially kind of been replaced, you kind of know what women's effective interest in you is. It's not that high, unless, of course, you're Troy Francis, a top 1% man. But for the rest of the rank and file people, it's just not that. It really is. No, we don't care to transact with you. Now, going back to what John said, where he said he disagreed with Rolla, I don't think these are mutually exclusive positions from what Rolla has. Rolla says we're just going to continue going a different route. That is true. We're going to explore unknown territory as long as the welfare state and technology allows it, so that women no longer need men. But John, as you point out, Sodom and Gomorrah, Roman Empire, I'm sure there's other examples throughout history of debauched societies. Once you can no longer support yourself as a society, once you tax or demoralize the producers of society, Atlas will shrug and you will have a production crisis. And then I don't care how many dollars you print off or what government programs are out there. If there ain't anything in the shelves to buy, there ain't any things in the shelves to buy. And as people, ladies in Venezuela are starting to find out, ladies in Ukraine are starting to find out, once all this, not facade, but once the structure of civilization and an organized economy goes away, we're back to brass tacks. And so I don't think necessarily we're going to see it maybe in our lifetime. Depends on how long we could keep up this facade. Depends on how long other countries are going to debauch their currency, letting the United States be the world's reserve currency. We could keep this welfare state going on for a long time, depending on what other countries do. But the time is going to come, because all empires do collapse, where the dollar ain't going to be worth jack. The electricity isn't on. And then all of a sudden, the guy who was a plumber is really hot. The guy who's the electrician the guy who saved up food and guns and ammo is really hot. And whatever, David Hogg or Prince Harry, whoever the idiots are at that will go. But that is not weird. That is when the pendulum will really come swinging back. But it will come back because you simply need production at the end. And the only damn reason we got production is because men want to get laid. Yep. That's it. Yep. And so once you take that away, men are going to go galt, and Atlas is going to shrug.
Yeah, I want to push back on what you said that women don't want men, because I definitely disagree with that. Because if you just see it everywhere. I mean, look at these miserable wenches on Fresh and Fit. What's the common theme? They get on there and all of them complain that they don't have a man. Every single girl, and they've been doing it for years. They've been doing this show for years, and this is a small fraction of women that actually go on the show. But dude, listen, I'm telling you, every guy at home, I know every like red pill guru is like, don't do this shit. Find a girl you're dating and go through her phone and read her text messages with her and her best friend. You will see that all women do is sit around and talk about getting a man, getting in a relationship if they don't have one. These girls are miserable without a man. I have talked to my own sister. She has 2 properties. She was a top producer. She bought the feminist lie. She bought it hook, line, and sinker. My sister was bawling her eyes out, crying to me on the phone in February.
Good.
I know. I was like, good. Now you can finally fucking listen. We've been telling you this. I've been telling you this for years. But she's just like, all I want to do is get married and have kids. I don't want to work. I hate working. This job sucks. She's like a top performer at Miranda Homes at the time, right? Literally, like in the state of Florida, she was number 2. The only person outranked her was a guy who's been in the company for like 30 years. And she is miserable, and that's all her and my mom talk about. How to find her a man, how can she lose weight, how can she do these things, what can make her a more attractive partner. And she knows. We talked yesterday, and she's like I'm 34, I'm running out of time. She's like, I want 2 kids. She's like, at this point I'd be lucky if I even get 1. And this is a global thing happening, dude. These girls want men badly.
Let me ask Troy though, Troy, because you've traveled way more, and I still got to get you on the show because. But
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it, man. We'll get it sorted
Yeah,
out.
but you've gone to multiple different cultures, and this is the thing that I'd like to ask Troy. When you go to Poland, are there thin chicks? When you go to Colombia, are there hot chicks? Are they nice? I mean, what's your experience? Like, say, let's just very simply analyze it between the West and the non-West. What do you witness in female behavior?
Oh yeah, I mean, very, very, very clearly when I was going to countries like Ukraine and like Russia as well, and also obviously Colombia recently, earlier this year, the dynamic between men and women is markedly different. It really, really is, and it's in a positive way in those countries. You know, the sort of reactions you would get, the reception you would get as a guy going and just starting a conversation with a woman, much, much more positive. There doesn't seem to be any of that toxicity that you get in London, you get in New York, you get in Miami, whatever, in those places. And 100%, man. It's
Men,
like
women,
night.
But that's
women
but here,
get along.
John. Let me finish because that's why I wanted to bring Troy in. And yeah, maybe these girls do have it on their cell phones. The problem is that's on their cell phones. And that's why I asked Troy, is like, what do you see in terms of behavior and action? And that's the paradox, I think, between West and non-West. I don't want to say East because it indicates maybe just Asia, but that's the difference. Like, these girls made their bed, and this is the actions they're putting forth. Whereas Troy, with going to other countries and cultures, the girls actually are making it. They're showing up to the trading post, is what I'm saying. And so, for people listening, especially if you're in the West, like, what's a guy supposed to do? Just assume the girl is miserable, ask her out, get his ass shot down, yelled at anyway, and then he has to, like, what's his consolation prize? Oh, okay, that bitch probably went home and cried herself to sleep. Well, fine, but again, there was no transaction. So in terms of efficacy and practicality, it's academic or moot whether or not these girls are crying themselves to sleep, taking Xanax and drinking a box of wine. It only matters if they're out there presenting themselves like, dressed nice or whatever. And then when Troy comes up and talks to them, they're receptive or kind. And so that's kind of the paradox that we face here.
They are. But you also, you've been like, when was the last time you left America, Cappy?
Oh, it's been years.
1954.
Yeah, you see, if you step outside of that trailer, you're gonna see like there's a whole other world out there, like in Japan, in China, in Vietnam, right? And that's the great thing about being a red-pilled guy, right? If you can get your shit together, because dude, to make $10,000 a month on the internet is easy. It is so insultingly easy. It takes maximum 3 years of study. 3 years of study, you can make $10,000 a month online, anywhere in the world, run your business, and you can travel and see the whole world and go out and find yourself a good woman. Let these American bitches rot. Let them fucking die alone, because that's exactly what they deserve. You got to be like LeBron James. You got to take your talents to South Beach. Take your talents to where you can win a championship. And who cares if people want to criticize you, say whatever. At the end of the day, if you go home, you have a beautiful woman, you making good money, who gives a shit? You've won. You've absolutely won. But I'm telling you that these girls, they like, it's nature. You can't beat fucking nature. These women want men, and they don't like. I'm telling you, the pendulum is starting to swing back, and these girls, like, that's why there's like a rising tide now of like YouTube femininity coaches and YouTube like wife coaches. And you can, like I said, I don't know if Ryan's laughing at shit, but
I've heard of them. I've seen a few. Yeah.
Right. But the thing is, the reality is there's a market out there for that. And the thing is this too, good girls, feminine girls, they're not the ones that are like loud and ratchet and disgusting. They're the ones like at home reading a book. You know what I mean? I just watched this documentary the other day on YouTube, or excuse me, not on YouTube, on Netflix, about black holes. It just came out, right? And all these chicks that are scientists that are like studying black holes, they're all like so cute and like smart and like introverted and feminine. And they're from like UK, they're from Japan, they're from the United States. I was like, oh my God, this is like this is like a breath of fresh air. But the miserable dregs of society, like, they're the most vocal ones, and they're the ones that people think are like the majority of them. Like, I saw this fat white girl the other day on Fresh and Fit who was like, I need a BBL so it could open doors in my life. I was like, no.
What's a BBL?
a Brazilian butt lift. She thinks she needs like I'm not even joking. This girl was a mongoloid, bro. She was this fat white girl on the Fresh and Fit channel, and it was like a couple days ago, and she was saying like, I need a BBL so I can get more opportunities in life. And I was like, no, you need a fucking membership to Bally's Total Fitness, and you need to get in a relationship with a fucking treadmill and actually get some solid skills.
Good,
but, you know,
good.
not just,
Let the hate seethe.
not
A
just
BBL.
yeah, it's so retarded. But like I said, it's just like the people who trust the government. It's just like the people who got triple vax, quintuple vax, whatever. And now they're all dying and fucking can't have babies. And you know, this is just nature's way of clearing the herd out.
Have you considered a BBL yet, Aaron?
I'm looking it up. This is a thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is
well, here, you look it up.
I
gotta
about this.
There's a whole new world outside that trailer park, Aaron.
There is. So here, we gotta get down the super chats here while you guys are looking this up. So first is from Anna, and I can take this one quickly. You're like, men can't support family with the finances, need a woman to join the force. Yeah, there's a red pill thing for that. Women working, there's not a problem with that. Most relationships now are dual income households, but that's fine. Just because you have a job doesn't mean when you walk into that house, you don't put on your woman hat and just act like a woman. Same with your guy. Act like a man when you get in. This is a logistical problem, and that sorts itself out if you have a guy who's got a decent amount of management and how to manage a household. So I wouldn't worry about that.
Can I also answer this? Anna, go
Please.
by my book, Poor Richard's Retirement. It is a lie that you need two incomes.
Yes.
If you girls stop majoring in, if you girls stop majoring in dumbass shit, bringing in 80 grand and then demanding a brand new Range Rover, and admittedly, the men have to not be dickheads like, oh, I need a brand new F-150 in McMansion. If you guys love your fucking children and your fucking selves more than your fucking shit, you can live off of one income. And if you broads would stop voting in fucking Democrats to take 50% of our fucking money away, there might be some fucking money for you to be a stay-at-home fucking mom.
Yep.
That's all I have to say about that.
Happy, I'm so glad you say that, because my brother and his wife.
This is gonna be a long story, John.
They have 3 kids, right? They have 3 kids, and my brother brings in about $3,000 to $4,000 a month, and it's not a double income household, and they're raising the kids perfectly. The kids go to Muay Thai lessons. You know, the boys, the girl, she goes to the church. She does like the little girl stuff, and he's been raising these kids on $3,000 to $4,000 a month since he's 30 now, and he was in the military for a while, and you know, they're totally okay. And this whole like, we need, like, you know, you hear these idiot women with no kids talking. I think my favorite thing is like single women giving.
I'm glad this is a
relationship
short
advice.
Story, John.
Me too. I know you're gonna die soon, and you gotta fucking hold on to every minute of life left in that old body of yours. Okay. But let me make my point. The point I'm
just
trying
get that
to make,
BBL before you go, Aaron.
I have to. I'm looking. There's a great surgeon out here in Rapid City.
the point I'm trying to make is that I think the whole we need 2 income thing is not real. You know, if you live above your means and you're a moron with your finances, yeah, it is. But like if you live in San Francisco or some shithole state like New York, right? Then yeah, it probably is necessary. But you know, we don't live in that kind of culture anymore. Like you're like shackled down to one place. There's multiple options, and just live frugally. Like you can totally live frugally and live well. You don't need to buy, exuberant shit like I do. I just do it because it's fun. You know what I mean? But you can live well off 80 grand a year for 2 people.
Well, yeah, I was the saying. I was trying to remember it. It's like you can live in the single family 1970s ideal as long as you live with a 1970s lifestyle. So no 3 cars, no giant McMansion. I think the average house back then was 1,300 square feet.
Yeah, the square footage is the huge. Yeah, you just need a smaller house. But, you know, wifey poo needs her fucking shit. So
yeah, it's all about decisions you make, right? But that's the thing. That's why I said incel is a choice, and that's what kind of pisses everybody off when we're not a choice. It's incel. It says involuntary. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Patriot acts without patriotism. I get it. Yeah, but yeah, if you make these choices where you want to buy bigger and better shit, put yourself into debt, and then wonder why you can't afford to have kids. Well, I mean, that's the exact life you wanted, so you can't get mad just because you didn't think you wanted it. But your actions speak louder than your words. Same thing. The box wine chicks, they just liked booze more than they liked a family. Or what was your excellent video you had, Aaron, where it was women want food more than you?
Women,
Remember that one?
Well, men, yeah. Look at obesity. That's the truth. Based on decisions, men and women like food more than they love their spouse. That's basically it.
Which really sucks. But I mean, people tell you exactly who they are, and a big part of this is just believing them. Everything John has said, everything Troy said, everything Aaron said, they're pointing out the obvious because guys just aren't looking, and I love it. Just telling you the obvious shit. If you see a girl that wants to have a family, see how she's acting. Does she act like somebody who wants a family? Then probably don't have a family with her if she doesn't. See this girl here? She's fat, talking about how she needs to like be thinner and have a nicer ass. But is she at the gym? No. Well, her actions are speaking louder than her words ever could. So let them run their mouth. They're just lying to themselves. You don't need to buy in on the lie.
Yeah, if she craps in the bed, then you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How you can tell? And yeah, if your girl has gray teeth, don't trust her. She's a fucking wine chick. All right, so I guess we got. Yeah. We got to end this one off here. I was going to end at the top of the hour. Everybody's got a busy ass life to get to, and I've stolen way too much of you guys' time already. Who's got closing thoughts here? We can end it off on something nice.
Nice.
I think that Amber Heard.
Well, yeah, you've used all the savage up, Aaron.
I think Amber Heard is going to lose because look, women are lazy, okay, and so they just going to see, okay, XYZ person did bad shit, therefore I did bad shit, and I can go ahead and be a piece of shit too and not get caught. Now you're going to see literally billions of women see Amber Heard get in trouble, have to owe Johnny Depp $50 million fucking dollars, and get publicly shamed, which is way worse than $50 million in woman world. And then this is going to put these chicks into check, and it's going to start realizing, like, you know, this is the equivalent of like a girl getting punched in the face on a YouTube video for like trying to swing on a guy. She's just getting punched in the face on course. And God, girl's like, oh shit, I better go put on a dress and bake a pie. Like, get punched in the face doesn't look too great.
Let's end it on hitting women. All right. Later, guys. You guys know where to find everybody's shit, so I'm not gonna.
I love the way girls smell. I love how they always make sure, by and large, they shower, and they just have an amazing smell to them in general.